16-year-old Reina DePizer succumbed to her injuries. HGP Nightly News reports. Reina DePizer, a 16-year-old girl from East La Penitence, tragically succumbed to her injuries on Wednesday afternoon at the Georgetown Public Hospital after being struck by a stray bullet. The incident occurred Monday evening, shortly after she attended a friend's birthday party. According to sources, the shooting took place when another man opened fire on a rival gang member, and a stray bullet hit Reina. The shooter has been apprehended and is expected to face murder charges soon. This developing story highlights the ongoing concerns surrounding gun violence and its impact on innocent lives in the community. Further updates are anticipated as the situation unfolds. U.S. Ambassador voices concerns over sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed's political aspirations. Ambassador Nicole Theriault has expressed concern regarding the possibility of sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed being elected to the Guyanese parliament. Speaking on the sidelines of the Global Biodiversity Alliance Summit at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, she stated, "All these U.S. companies want to come to Guyana and Guyana is welcoming. I don't want, if he were to become a member of the government, that to change. So, that's a real concern that I have." Implications of sanctions. The U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, sanctioned both Nazar Mohammed and his son Azruddin in 2024 due to tax evasion related to gold exports. The sanctions indicated that between 2019 and 2023, Mohammed's enterprise omitted over 10,000 kilograms of gold from import and export declarations, resulting in more than $50 million in unpaid duty taxes to the government of Guyana. Ambassador Theriault elaborated on the potential complications. "It's problematic in multiple ways. We have to be very careful. If that person is involved, let's say he were on a certain committee, we would have to ensure that we didn't work with him specifically." Political aspirations. Azruddin Mohammed has launched a political party, We Invest in Nationhood, WIN, and is running as the presidential candidate. His party has been approved by the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, to contest the upcoming elections on September 1st. The U.S. government's concerns reflect broader implications for international relations and business interests in Guyana should Mohammed be elected. Tragic drowning incident in Number 71 Village. A tragic incident has occurred in Number 71 Village, Corentyne Burbis, where 19-year-old Yodesh Inderjit drowned while hunting for wild ducks. Yodesh, a carpenter, set out with two friends around 3 p.m. to pursue wisey ducks along the sea dam on Monday. His father, Lochnath Nareen, learned of the incident from a man at a supermarket around 4 p.m. and rushed to the scene. Upon arrival, Nareen and others searched the area and found Yodesh submerged in the water. Despite immediate attempts to save him, he was pronounced dead at the Skeldon Public Hospital. Yodesh's mother, Rupawati Lachman, believes her son did not drown, citing his experience as a swimmer. She raised concerns about conflicting accounts from his friends regarding what transpired. One friend mentioned that while they were swimming, he fell into a deep section of water, and while helping him, he may have inadvertently kicked Yodesh. Rupawati noted that this was Yodesh's first hunting trip with these friends, as he had previously gone out with other groups without issue. She emphasized that her son had no known conflicts in the area and is calling for a thorough police investigation to clarify the circumstances of his death. "I want to know exactly what happened to my son because I'm not pleased with this," she stated. "To me, my son did not drown because he knew how to swim and dive. An investigation is currently underway." Two charged with incitement in Sosdijk sexual assault case. Two men have been charged with incitement following a sexual assault incident at Raguz Bar in Sosdijk that has sparked public outrage. Leon DeFreitas, 36, a DJ from Kururu, and Ryan Rajnarine, 30, an office assistant and music selector, appeared before Magistrate Wanda Fortune at the Friendship Magistrates Court. They were remanded to prison after the charge was read, with the case adjourned to August 18th for further investigation. The incident, which allegedly involved the drugging and assault of a young woman by three men in full view of patrons, was recorded and circulated on social media. Police confirmed that the victim reported the assault at the Timeri police station. In response to the incident, the bar has been closed permanently, as stated by Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad. The minister condemned the actions of those present during the assault, emphasizing the need for accountability. The Amerindian People's Association described the act as a violation of human dignity, highlighting the systemic violence faced by indigenous women in Guyana. The Ministry of Human Services has pledged full support for the victim and urged the public not to share the video, stressing that it further violates her rights. The Guyana police force has launched a formal investigation and is urging witnesses to come forward with information. Fugitive murder suspect Nicholas Johnson surrenders to police. Nicholas Johnson, known as Suga, a 25-year-old laborer from No. 51 village, has surrendered to police this morning concerning a murder that took place over a year ago. Accompanied by his attorney, Mr. Chandra Sohan, Johnson arrived at the Springlands police station around 11:10 a.m., where he was promptly arrested by officers from the Criminal Investigation Department. Johnson is wanted in connection with the murder of Colleen Tony, which occurred on February 20, 2024, in No. 53 village. He is accused of fatally stabbing Tony following an argument over a cell phone. The case has drawn significant attention, and Johnson's surrender marks a crucial development in the ongoing investigation. Banking issues for some Win Party candidates amid sanctions. Newsroom reports, at least 2 candidates from the We Invest in Nationhood, Win Party, led by U.S.-sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed, have been notified that their bank accounts will be closed. Odessa Primus, a party representative, announced this at a press conference on Tuesday evening. Candidates Natasha Singh Lewis, a former member of the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, and Duarte Hetzberger, the personal assistant to former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, confirmed they received notices from Demerara Bank stating their banking services would be discontinued. Singh Lewis expressed her dismay, stating she has been with the bank for about 15 years. She was informed her account must be closed by July 25, 2025, or it will be automatically converted to a banker's draft for her to collect. The bank cited internal policies and banking requirements as the reason for the closure. Hetzberger reported receiving the same timeline and explanation. The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, imposed sanctions against the Mohammed family on June 11, 2024, targeting Nazar Mohammed, his son Azruddin, and their businesses due to connections with gold smuggling and corruption. As a result, their business licenses were rescinded, and their bank accounts were closed. Primus questioned the rationale behind the bank's decision to close accounts for candidates with no direct financial ties to the Mohammeds. She stated, "If that is the line of thinking, I can't see how the bank would have come to such a conclusion. Because the Mohammeds don't have a bank account, so how could they possibly prove that there is money being transferred from the Mohammeds to any of the individuals that they discontinued their business with?" However, the candidate's affiliation with WIN, led by Mohammed, poses a compliance risk for banking institutions, potentially influencing their decision to sever ties with these individuals. 3 charged with armed robbery remanded to prison. 3 individuals have been remanded to prison following charges of armed robbery. The accused are Delroy Parks, 42, also known as Siki, a laborer from Lot 50, Cromarty Village. Amzad Ali, 30, known as Cow, a taxi driver from No. 70 Village. Antoine Kite, 34, known as Turtle, a security guard from Lot 45, B, Dukestown, Corriverton. The trio appeared at the Springlands Magistrates Court on Tuesday, where Magistrate Tuana Hardy presided. The charges stem from an incident on July 19, 2025, in which they allegedly robbed Ramona Crawford at No. 58 Village, Quarantine, Burbis. During the court proceedings, all 3 pleaded not guilty. Consequently, Magistrate Hardy remanded them and transferred the case to the No. 51 Magistrates Court. Incident details. Reports indicate that on the evening of July 19, around 10 p.m., 4 individuals were socializing in Skeldon, Corriverton. They encountered Delroy Parks while leaving a bar, where he reportedly confronted them, asking, "Why are you watching me? I'm just a bodyguard." Upon returning home, the victims were confronted by two masked men armed with handguns. The victims identified Parks as one of the assailants based on his clothing, which matched what he wore at the bar, minus a mask. The second robber was dressed in a blue shirt. The assailants demanded cash and jewelry, fleeing with an undisclosed amount. Arrest and investigation. Acting on information, police located Delroy Parks drinking beer while wearing the same clothes described by the victims. He was arrested and found with a gold bangle in his pants. When questioned about the bangle, he claimed it was traded for marijuana. Additionally, AMZ Ally was summoned for questioning, during which he admitted to driving Parks and Kite to number 58 Village to carry out the robbery. He stated he left them in Dukestown, Corriverton. The investigation also led to the recovery of a .32 pistol and a magazine containing 5 suspected live rounds from one of the suspects' homes. CN Sharma and wife endorse PPP/C ahead of 2025 elections. Popular Guyanese talk show host and politician CN Sharma, along with his wife Savitri Sharma, has publicly endorsed the People's Progressive Party Civic, PPP/C, and President Dr. Irfan Ali as they approach the 2025 general and regional elections. In a statement issued by Savitri Sharma, she highlighted CN Sharma's transition from a vocal critic of the PPP/C to a supporter. She stated, CN Sharma, renowned activist and television talk show host of Voice of the People, has endorsed Irfan Ali and the PPP/C government for a second term. In his active years, CN Sharma heavily criticized the PPP/C government. Now, having stepped back from the political limelight, he sees change within the party. Irfan Ali shows he cares for all the Guyanese people of all races, equally. Well done, Irfan. Savitri emphasized Sharma's genuine concern for the voiceless citizens of Guyana, noting, I see we have a president who cares about the people. Guyana is progressing with a bright future for all. The Sharma support for the PPP/C dates back to 2020 when their political party, the Justice for All Party, JFAP, split from the then-governing APNU coalition. They publicly recognized the PPP/C as the legitimate winner of the 2020 general election and called for President Ali to be sworn in promptly. CN Sharma reflected on his past criticisms, stating, I was once a loud voice against the government. I have no apologies keeping them in line, but unity and support is necessary for progress to continue for the good of all Guyanese. This endorsement marks a significant shift in political alignment for the Sharmas as they advocate for continued governance under the PPP/C. Chief Justice Roxanne George to assume Chancellor duties amid judicial vacancy. Chief Justice AG. Roxanne George is set to take on the additional responsibilities of Chancellor of the Judiciary, as confirmed by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal, during his weekly commentary on Tuesday night. Nandlal described this as a productive move, noting that President Dr. Irfan Ali intends to designate Justice George to act in this capacity due to the ongoing absence of a substantive appointment. The positions of Chancellor and Chief Justice in Guyana have remained vacant for nearly 2 decades because of a constitutional requirement for agreement between the President and the leader of the opposition, a consensus that has proven elusive. President Ali reached out to opposition leader Aubrey Norton on July 4th, requesting a response by July 15th, but has yet to receive any reply. Nandlal emphasized the need for meaningful dialogue, stating, one hand cannot clap. There must be a meaningful response. You can't have consultation without participation. This development means that Justice George, who has served as acting Chief Justice since 2017, will now also oversee the Court of Appeal as Chancellor. The last substantive Chancellor, Justice Desiree Bernard, vacated the position in 2005 when she was appointed to the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ. Since then, several distinguished jurists, including Justices Carl Singh and Yannette Cummings Edwards, have filled the role in an acting capacity amid ongoing political stalemate. The Ali administration maintains that the Constitution permits the President to act if reasonable consultation attempts are made. Nandlal pointed out that judicial guidance suggests both parties must engage sincerely in the process. The decision to have Justice George assume both roles aims to restore stability within the judiciary. We can't continue to have these key offices in limbo forever, Nandlal argued. underscoring the urgency of filling these critical judicial positions. Magistrate grants request for private preliminary inquiry in De Silva case. Guyana News reports, Magistrate Dylan Bess on Tuesday approved a request from lawyers representing Marlon De Silva for private hearings related to the preliminary inquiry, PI, and paper committal proceedings. De Silva, 32, stands accused of fatally shooting his 27-year-old wife, Kenesha Vaughn, during an altercation in February. Appearing at the Diamond Magistrates Court, De Silva was represented by attorneys Glenn Hanuman and Everton Singh Lamy. During the hearing, Magistrate Bess made a ruling under the Criminal Law Procedure Act, stating that members of the public and media would be excluded from the PI to prevent potential prejudice against the accused. In his remarks, Magistrate Bess emphasized that while the court recognizes the importance of public interest, any disclosures would be limited. He noted that should any aspect of the proceedings warrant public reporting, the prosecution could apply to the court for permission. Following the hearing, a court release indicated that the defense had objected to media presence, citing sections 62 and 63 of the Criminal Law Procedure Act. They argued that public access could infringe upon De Silva's right to a fair trial and compromise the integrity of the committal process. The prosecution, led by attorney Nigel Hughes, countered this argument, highlighting the necessity of public scrutiny to ensure transparency in judicial proceedings. The court acknowledged the media's vital role in a democratic society, stating, "A free press contributes to public awareness, accountability, and confidence in the justice system." However, it reiterated that the principle of open justice is not absolute, especially in preliminary inquiries, which are investigative in nature and not trials. Citing Section 62 of the Act, the court explained its authority to regulate proceedings and exclude the public if deemed necessary for justice or public morality. It further noted that Section 63 reinforces this discretion, particularly regarding untested evidence that may arise during preliminary inquiries. The court concluded that the general public and media would not be allowed to attend the entirety of the preliminary inquiry. However, family members of both the accused and the victim, who are not witnesses, would still be permitted entry. The court reserved the right to reassess this decision if circumstances change. During the hearing, attorney Hanuman expressed concerns over the extensive public discourse surrounding the case, citing protests and social media commentary from the deceased's family. Conversely, Hughes maintained that a public trial was essential, asserting there was nothing to hide. De Silva is accused of shooting Vaughn multiple times during a heated argument at their home. Investigators reported that upon his arrest, De Silva's blood alcohol level was found to be 83%. VPAC Guyana calls for end to vehicle tax scam. VPAC Guyana has issued a strong warning regarding what it describes as a long-standing vehicle tax scam that primarily benefits the elite rather than the average citizen. In a statement, VPAC criticized the government for failing to reform the vehicle import system over the last 5 years and the previous 23 years under the People's Progressive Party, PPP. They allege that the administration has consistently protected its allies while burdening the general populace. As we approach another election, the PPP is scrambling to adopt fragments of our proposals and pass them off as reform, VPAC stated. A few temporary cuts on select vehicles are not genuine policy. They are signs of desperation. The Forward Guyana movement has proposed a straightforward solution: a flat 35% import tax applicable to all vehicles, regardless of brand, engine size, fuel type, or country of origin. The coalition insists there should be no luxury tax unless a vehicle exceeds $50,000, eliminating layered duties and backdoor waivers. This isn't just about cars. It's about economic justice, VPAC emphasized. Every Guyanese citizen should have the freedom to own a vehicle without being exploited at the port. The coalition asserts that under the current PPP government, only a privileged few enjoy the freedom to drive, while the majority face high costs, unreliable vehicles, and dwindling spare parts. Their proposed reforms aim to create a more equitable system that benefits all citizens, VPAC argues that their plan would lead to significant improvements in the economy. Taxi drivers could upgrade their vehicles, mechanics would see increased business, small enterprises would operate more efficiently, and families would have better access to mobility. Even luxury vehicle buyers would contribute fairly under the new tax scheme. The government can earn more transparently, while the people can spend less. This is the foundation of a modern economy, VPAC stated. We're not here to play games. We're here to clean house. The Forward Guyana movement is empowering the people, not making empty promises. Police issue wanted bulletin for 2 men. The Guyana police force is seeking the public's help in locating 2 men wanted for serious criminal offenses. If you have any information regarding their whereabouts, please report it immediately. 1. Alpheus Buchanan Sampson Roamon wanted for money laundering. Name: Alpheus Buchanan Sampson Roamon. Gender: male. Ethnicity: mixed ancestry. Complexion: brown. Last known address: Lot 37 Block CC, Mon Repos, East Coast Demerara. The Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, is actively searching for Mr. Roamon in connection with money laundering activities. Contact information: SOCU 225-3079, 225-3084. Nearest police station: 2. Ray Bowen wanted for rape. Name: Ray Bowen. Date of birth: September 7, 1996. Last known address: Parika, East Bank, Essequibo. Offense: rape. Date of offense: October 13, 2024. Place of offense: Barnwell Village, East Bank, Essequibo. The police are seeking assistance in locating Ray Bowen in relation to an alleged rape incident. Contact information: police contacts 227-1149, 225-8196, 227-1611, 268-2328, 268-2329, 226-3405, 225-6978, 333-3876, 225-8196. Nearest police station. The police urge the public not to engage with or attempt to apprehend these individuals. Any information provided will be treated with strict confidentiality. Your assistance is crucial in ensuring justice is served. Home Affairs Minister calls for stricter gun laws amid rising violence. Kaider News reports. In response to a troubling rise in gun violence across the country, Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben announced on Tuesday the need for authorities to consider increasing fines and prison sentences for individuals caught with illegal firearms. The recent surge in gun-related crimes has raised significant concern, particularly following the tragic murder of young teacher Jenelle Polydor by her ex-boyfriend during a wedding reception last Saturday. The incident is part of a disturbing trend that has seen multiple killings, including 2 men shot on the Buxton Line Top and another execution-style murder in Linden, alongside a spate of armed robberies. Most of these cases remain unsolved, although police have made arrests in 2 of the recent killings. Speaking to Kaider News while inspecting a diesel leak on Saffin Street, Ben emphasized that law enforcement is acutely aware of the escalating gun crime issue. We are working on the question of gun control. We have drafted a new Firearms Act. We have to consider increasing fines and incarceration for those found in possession of illegal weapons, he stated. Ben also highlighted that even licensed firearm holders should not be allowed to brandish their weapons in public spaces like bars. The minister pointed out that many illegal firearms are smuggled into Guyana through its porous borders, primarily from the United States. He noted that a significant number of gun-related incidents involve intimate partner violence, and that many perpetrators are armed with illegal firearms. Deputy Commissioner of Law Enforcement Wendell Blanham previously acknowledged the prevalence of armed robbery involving firearms, particularly pistols, which are favored for their concealability and high ammunition capacity. In a notable response to the increase in illegal firearms, police reported seizing 162 weapons in 2024, the highest number recovered in a decade. Observers have remarked that gun violence has become an unfortunate reality in Guyana. An editorial in Kaider News pointed out that firearms are often involved in both street crime and domestic issues, with ripple effects impacting workplaces and the broader economy. The issue of gun violence has also surfaced in the current election campaign. Former Deputy Commissioner of Police Paul Williams criticized the current state of the police force under the PPP government, claiming it has severely deteriorated. "They have destroyed every fabric that was built by our predecessors," he asserted during a rally, further alleging that the government has ignored serious complaints against police misconduct. Williams referenced a 2022 report from the Police Complaints Authority, which included 194 complaints, 4 of which involved fatal police shootings. He criticized the lack of accountability, noting that recommendations to charge officers often went unaddressed. With the recent sentencing of a police officer for the unjustified killing of a businessman, Williams highlighted the urgent need for reform within the police force and greater government accountability. "You want a government like that? Nowhere. We will not go with a government like that," he declared, emphasizing the necessity for change in the current administration.